Hello fellow, it's great to have you here. In this episode, we are going to study CSS selector grouped as Combinator Selectors. There are four of these: Descendant Selector, Child Selector, Adjacent Sibling Selector, General Sibling Selector. Let's have a look at each of these one by one. The first one is Descendant Selector. The descendant selector will target an element's descendant that includes direct child element as well as more deeply nested elements that are grandchildren and even great grandchildren. So for instance, I have got a div tag here inside of my body tag, and inside of this div tag I have got an unordered list of items. Okay, so I'll use a descendant selector to target the Lee selector here. So to call these Lee items here for styling, I'll say a div and then a space, and I'll call this Lee by its type. Okay, so this basically is the descendant. Lee basically is the descendant of div, or you can in fact use this as, I can even say div ul and then Lee, because ul itself is descendant of div, so I can give the whole path, or I can just say div Lee and then put my styling for this Lee element. And if I preview it in Chrome, I'll see my list items are styled red. Okay, so next selector in this combinator selector class is child selector. Okay, so child selector will target just the specified direct children of an element, and it will not target all of its descendant of that type. Okay, so for instance, I've got a div here, and inside of this div I've got a paragraph and then an article, and inside of that article I have got another paragraph. So in this particular instance, this paragraph is the direct child of this div, and this article as well is the direct child of this div, but this paragraph which is inside of this article is not the direct child of this outer div here. This paragraph is basically a grandchildren of this outer div, as this article is the child of this div. So the child of this article, which is this paragraph div here, becomes the grandchild of this div. Okay, so here in this particular instance I am only referencing the direct child of this outer div here, and this direct child is only the paragraph tags. So I'm only referencing this paragraph tag but not this paragraph tag. So only this paragraph tag will be styled to have color orange, and let's have a look at that by previewing it in browser, and you can see the effect here. Okay, so the third selector in this combinator selector class is adjacent sibling. Adjacent sibling will target the elements only if they happen to come directly after the specified element. Okay, so in this particular instance I have got h3 tag here, then I have got 3 paragraph tags after it, and then I've got another h3 tag and 3 paragraph tags following it. Okay, so adjacent sibling selector basically targets elements only if they happen to come directly after the specified element. So specified element here is h3. Adjacent sibling will be referenced by plus sign, and the adjacent sibling that I am referencing here is the paragraph tag. So all the paragraph tag that comes just after h3 tag will be styled with these style properties mentioned here. Okay, so my first h3 tag is here, h3 some stuff, and then only adjacent sibling to it will be this one. This first paragraph will be styled to have this. The other two paragraphs will not be styled like that. Okay, so here's the effect. We have got h3 here, and then the first paragraph is styled to have underline and different font family, and similar for the next h3 tag here, and the first paragraph after this h3 tag will be styled the same way in this first one here. Okay, so let's have a look at the last combinator selector, which is called general sibling selector. So general sibling selector will target all specified elements that come after the specified sibling element. So in this particular instance, the general sibling is referenced by tilde symbol, which is just below the escape key on your keyboard. Okay, so in this particular instance, I'm referencing general sibling after my h3 tag. Okay, so here I've got h2, and the siblings after this h2 won't be referenced because I'm not calling any of those here in my style. So h3 tag is here, and all the siblings, which are paragraphs in this case, will be styled to have font italic and some color here. But this div won't be styled because it is not referenced here. Only the paragraphs which are sibling of this h3 tags are referenced for styling. Let's have a look at them, and here you can see the effect. The paragraphs are styled to have font family and the color, but the div is not styled. Okay, so this wraps up all the combinator selectors, and I'll end my tutorial here. So please like, comment, share and subscribe, and in the next tutorial we are going to have a look at CSS selectors, which are grouped as structural pseudo class selectors. So stay tuned, and thanks for watching.